There are days when you wake up and feel an emptiness inside. Not because someone is missing, but because you suddenly realize, for such a long time, you've been living as if your worth only exists when someone else is by your side. You used to feel anxious when someone didn't reply. Used to feel unsteady when a relationship changed. Used to hold your breath out of fear of losing someone, as if losing them meant losing your only anchor. We've all been there. It's not weakness, it's instinct. The instinct to connect, to be loved, to feel safe in someone's embrace. But then, one day, you find yourself sitting in a familiar room, surrounded by the quiet hum of life moving on outside. And suddenly you understand, no one can be your forever anchor. No one has the strength to carry the darkness inside you. No one is responsible for making you feel whole every day. You begin to turn inward, toward something slowly awakening within you. A small flame, a quiet calling, a soft light blooming after many seasons of dependence. And you know, this is the beginning of a different journey. The journey of someone brave enough to live without clinging. Not because you don't need anyone, but because you're finally full enough. Not to wait for someone else to make you feel complete. Headphone, if you're listening to these words in silence right now, take a deep breath. No need to rush. No need to push any feeling away. Just stay here, with yourself, and listen to the story you've forgotten to hear for so long. The story of you, the one who can stand strong, even with no one beside you. The one who is slowly returning home, and realizing, to be brave enough not to cling. That is the first sign of true wisdom. And you have already begun. One day, you'll stop waiting for someone to save you. There will come a day when you sit quietly in the middle of a bustling street, watching people pass by, and wonder, if no one comes, will I still be okay? And then it will suddenly hit you. People don't always stay. The hands that once held you when you were vulnerable can let go when they grow tired. No one is at fault. That's just life. People come and go. Only one person always stays, you. With yourself. And then you realize, what you truly need isn't someone who's always by your side, but a solid inner strength so you no longer panic when someone leaves. That is the beginning of wisdom, not the kind of wisdom that's about intellect, but a kind of awakening, knowing that even without relying on anyone, you can still live a whole, peaceful, and meaningful life. 2. Dependence is instinct. Independence is courage. From birth, we humans have needed others. A baby cries when its mother is away. An adult feels pain when love disappears. We call it emotion, a need for connection, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, if a child never learns to stand up on their own, they can never grow. If an adult always looks for someone else to fill their inner emptiness, they may never truly understand what it means to feel whole from within. Relying on someone is easy. Standing tall on your own, that's the hard part. And when you dare to step away from dependency, even if you tremble, even if you get hurt, that is when your soul matures more than ever. Not depending doesn't mean not needing anyone. It means not basing your worth on someone else's presence in your life. 3. Not needing to rely doesn't mean not needing love. The brave are not those who close their hearts. They still love, but with a free heart. Without clinging or chasing. They know who to stay with, and when to walk away. They know how to love others and themselves. They choose love as a gift, not as a lifeline to save them from unhealed loneliness. Not relying is freedom, in love, in connection, in presence. It's when you love someone, but don't need them to complete you. It's when you sit alone, but don't feel empty. 4. The deeper reason we tend to depend on others. We depend on others because of the unhealed wounds inside us. Some fear being abandoned, so they cling. Some fear being misunderstood, so they constantly seek validation. Some fear not being good enough, so they need someone by their side to feel worthy. But none of these fears can be healed by anyone else. No lover, no friend, no parent can step into your inner world and heal that wound. Only when you stop, turn inward, face it, listen to it, and learn to love yourself, can you truly break free from the cycle of dependency. 5. Wisdom is knowing how to lean without clinging. There will be times you need help, and that's okay. Wisdom isn't about blindly trying to be strong, but knowing when to lean, without losing yourself. The wise know how to say, "I need you," without letting those words become chains. They know how to receive kindness, without feeling so indebted that they can't breathe. They know how to love, but not so deeply that they forget who they are. 6. Only when you stop depending do you truly become free. Have you ever felt anxious when someone didn't reply to your message? Have you ever let a criticism from someone shake your peace? Have you ever ached because someone didn't love you the way they once did? None of that is your fault. But if you let those things control your peace of mind, you're living in a prison of expectations. True freedom begins when your heart is no longer shaken by what's outside. When you understand, those who love you, it's beautiful. Those who leave, you still wish them peace. Because no one can make you suffer, unless you let them become the center of your happiness. 7. Awakening is becoming your own safe haven. The awakened don't look for someone to save them from their pain. They understand that pain is a part of being human, but rising above it is the power of choice. They choose to face loneliness, choose to embrace fragility, choose to stay with themselves, instead of running to someone else just to escape the emptiness. And then, from deep within, they discover this truth. It is in not needing to rely that the sky opens up the widest. It is in being rooted in oneself that the most enduring love begins. 8. Conclusion. When you need no one to lean on, you hold the world in your hands. Try spending a day without messaging anyone first. A day without sharing your sadness with anyone. A day without needing approval. Without needing to be understood. Without needing anyone to love you in a specific way. Just you, sitting down, taking a deep breath, and telling yourself, "I'm okay, I am enough, I don't need anyone to make me happy, because I choose peace from within." And then, day by day, you'll become a very different version of yourself. Not because you don't need anyone, but because you're no longer afraid of being without them. To be brave enough not to depend. That is not just strength. It is freedom. It is awakening. It is wisdom. And it is the beginning of a truly peaceful life. 9. The journey from dependence to freedom is the journey of awakening. No one is born strong. Each of us has gone through phases of living through others' eyes, feelings, and very existence. You once needed someone to feel worthy. You once feared a broken relationship more than your own brokenness. You once believed that if no one stayed by your side, you would collapse. And then one day, when you're weary of waiting, you let go, not because the love is gone, but because you can no longer trade your peace to hold on to something uncertain. That is the first step toward freedom, not the act of cutting others off from your life, but the return to yourself as a place of refuge, no longer needing to be loved to feel worthy, no longer needing someone to stay to feel important, no longer needing someone's presence to feel whole. 10. What does it mean to be inwardly free? It's the ability to sit in silence and not feel lonely, to love sincerely, yet not resent if the other leaves, to not chase external validation or be swayed by praise, blame, like, dislike, to live deeply, fully, and with awareness of each emotion passing through, without being consumed by it. Such a person isn't indifferent, nor are they distant. They live deeply, but without drowning. They love others, but still honor the boundaries of their own heart. They are kind, but they don't let others manipulate their peace, because they've endured enough suffering to understand. The most beautiful love doesn't come from dependence, but from two free souls choosing to stay, not out of fear of loss, but out of presence. 11. Non-dependence is a form of deep meditation. When you stop seeking others to fix your inner emotions, you begin the path of true meditation, of genuine awakening. You sit, you breathe, you don't run, you don't blame. You no longer wait for someone to come and fix your life. You dare to face the darkness inside, the places that were once wounded, once abandoned, once desperate to be loved. And for the first time, you embrace yourself. You say, I see you, I know you're hurting, but now, I'm here with you. That is the moment you stop begging for love and start nurturing it, no longer needing someone to hold your hand through the storm, because you've learned how to stand in the storm and smile. 12. Signs you're growing beyond dependence. You no longer react impulsively when someone leaves. You no longer let emotions rule you, but observe them like passing clouds. You don't feel the need to share everything to feel seen or loved. You feel peace when alone, and joy when with others, but neither controls you. You choose carefully who enters your life, not out of fear of pain, but because you value your inner stillness. 13. Awakening is letting go of what is fragile. We used to cling to others as if they were our final lifeline. But all external things are impermanent. Someone may love you today and change tomorrow, not because they're bad, but because people are like rivers, always flowing, never still. If you put your safety in something unstable, you will always be afraid. If you demand someone else to complete you, you will always feel incomplete. The awakened don't hold on tightly. They let things come and go like breaths, naturally, gently, without grasping, because they understand. Letting go is wisdom. Not clinging is love. Not depending is freedom. 14. Connection becomes a choice, not a need. When you no longer need someone to feel whole, you enter relationships with full presence and clarity. You no longer seek someone to lift you up, but someone who can walk beside you, even as each walks their own path. You no longer wish for someone to save you, but simply to accompany you, if both choose to walk together. You no longer fear loneliness, because it's no longer a fear, but a sacred space where you return to yourself. 15. A final whisper. The true home is within. In this life, you will meet many people. Some will teach you how to love. Some will teach you how to let go. Some will walk with you for a while. Some will stay longer. But in the end, all are just passing connections. The only person who walks with you, from the moment you are born, until your final breath, is you. So if you don't learn to love yourself, who else can truly do it for you? If you're not brave enough to stand alone, how can you ever walk freely through life? Remember, not needing to lean on others doesn't mean you're not vulnerable. It means you've learned how to be gentle with yourself. No longer fearing solitude is when you truly have everything. No longer dependent on anyone is when you touch the deepest freedom of your soul. If these words resonate somewhere in your heart, take a moment to sit still, breathe slowly, and hear your soul whisper, "I don't need to be saved by anyone. I am becoming the one who saves myself." That is wisdom. That is awakening. And that is the most peaceful path you could ever walk. 16. When you no longer need to be understood, you begin to truly understand yourself. One of the quietest sufferings in life is the yearning to be understood. We wish someone could grasp the sadness we don't voice, recognize the sacrifices we don't mention, listen without us needing to explain. But eventually, you realize, not everyone can understand your inner world, because they're busy struggling with their own. Letting go of the need to be understood is the first step toward deeply understanding yourself. Because when you feel whole from within, you no longer seek validation. You choose authenticity over being liked. You choose silence over forcing someone to see your pain. 17. No one can carry your inner burdens, except you. Someone may walk beside you during tough times. Someone may listen to you in the middle of the night. But no one can experience or take responsibility for your thoughts, emotions, and choices. There will be nights when you cry alone. Days when you feel shattered in silence. But you'll pull through, not because someone rescued you, but because you didn't abandon yourself. That is the transformation from dependence to agency, from suffering to awakening, from living to be loved, to living in love with yourself, day by day. 18. You don't need to be strong, you just need to be honest. A person who is not dependent is not necessarily hard, cold, or indifferent. They may cry, they may feel vulnerable, they may sit in the night, missing someone who no longer stays. But they are honest with their emotions. They don't deny them. They don't push them away. They don't cover them up. They allow the sadness to pass like a guest, not clinging, not chasing. And it's this honesty that becomes the foundation of wisdom. Because someone who understands themselves doesn't fear pain. Someone who understands themselves doesn't fear solitude. 19. The truly brave don't depend on others, nor turn their hearts into burdens. They don't expect others to carry their emotional turmoil. They light their own path. And if someone walks beside them, it's a resonance, not a rescue. They don't need anyone to make them happy. Because happiness is something they practice each day. In small, quiet moments. They don't turn love into demands. They don't turn presence into pressure. They are quiet, yet radiant. Because their light is not borrowed from others, but kindled from within. 20. Brave enough to need no one is to open the gate to infinite freedom. You are no longer a boat tossed about by life's storms. You become your own island, steady, serene, and compassionate. People may come and go. Love may grow deep and fade. The world may applaud and then turn away. But you remain, as steady as the earth, as calm as breath, as peaceful as light in the heart of night. True freedom doesn't come from how many stay, but from your ability to stay with yourself, even when no one else does. That is the sign of a blooming inner wisdom. That is the beginning of a liberated consciousness. No longer clinging, no longer demanding, no longer chasing. Only when we stop seeking shelter outside do we find our true home, within our own heart. The deepest form of courage isn't to face the world, but to sit still, listen inward, and whisper, whether someone comes or someone leaves, I still choose to love me. You don't need anyone to fully understand you. You don't need anyone to keep every promise. You only need yourself, not to abandon yourself. And one day, when you no longer need to hold anyone's hand to walk through the storm, you'll realize the storm is no longer frightening, because within you, there is a sky of peace, unshakable, vast, and calm. Sparkles if one day you feel lonely. Please don't rush to seek someone else. Sit still, return to your breath, because right there, you'll find someone who has always been waiting for you. Yourself, in your most whole and peaceful form. Thank you for taking the time to read this, or simply, for staying with these words. In stillness, in slowness, in a rare moment when you return to yourself. If today, something in this sharing touched your peace, if somewhere deep inside, you felt understood, heard, or seen, then please remember, that peace didn't come from these words. It came from within you, from your own awakening. I was merely the one who knocked gently. You were the one brave enough to open the door. If this journey means something to you, and you wish to continue walking together, through quiet reflections, gentle healing, and moments of mindful living, right finger, please consider subscribing to the channel, so you won't miss future sharings. Because who knows, on a day when you need it most, a soft voice from here might become a quiet light to warm your heart. Crescent moon, you are not alone on this journey. We, those learning to slow down, to live deeper, are quietly walking alongside each other. I look forward to meeting you again on another peaceful afternoon. Headphone, this isn't just a channel. It's a safe space for your soul to rest. If you'd like, come back here often. There's no rush. We only need to be real and quiet, and that is already enough.